So now we have half flap already deployed. You see 3 and 4 also comes up, so this is perfect. Now looking at the LEDs, I can tell how many what is the extent of flaps that we are using. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of We Build. So we are approaching the end of this series. This video I am going to tell you how to use SimVimX to configure the controls for your flight simulator. SimVimX is really nice plugin. I really congratulate the developers whoever made this. It is really easy to use, fun to use. You can just like plug and play. You can just simply open and build your simulator. It's that easy. No coding required. Nothing. So when I'll be explaining the stuff, might be a little boring, but very informative and very useful if you want to build your own flight simulator. So let's do that. So guys, first thing first, let me explain you the circuit diagram for what we are going to build in this. So we are going to use this Arduino Mega to directly communicate with the explains. So first thing will be this rotary encoder, which we'll be using for elevator trim. And after that, rotary encoder, I have talked about rotary encoders in another video as well, that we were using to interface with the keyboard, but this time it will be directly communicating with the flight simulator. So it's pretty basic. If you rotate it clockwise or anti-clockwise, it gives the clock and data signals accordingly, and the Arduino interprets it, and then it does an action in the system. So next thing that I want to talk about is connecting the LEDs to output. So to connect the LEDs, we usually use resistance, but in this case I'll be using a potentiometer instead of resistance. So potentiometer is again basically another form of a resistor. So yeah, it's just a variable resistor. And then we'll be needing, one more thing about this potentiometer is it has two potentiometers actually, which are independent. So it has this right here, one potentiometer is this, and the other potentiometer is right here, which is below. So these are independent of each other. So you can use them like two potentiometers, or you can use two separate potentiometers, doesn't matter. Next is we have 8 LEDs that we are going to connect to our flight simulator to read different outputs. So yes, now we need our plus 5 volt and the ground volt. So let me make a plus 5 volt here. Okay, right there. Suppose this is the plus 5 volt that we'll be using everywhere wherever it is needed. Okay, and similarly this is the ground that we'll be using, a common ground. So these are wires, okay. So yeah, so let's connect it to plus 5 volt first. Right there, I should have made that red, right? I did make it red. Why did it? Okay, I'll just make it red anyways. So yeah, plus 5 volt. So I'll connect this plus 5 volt to plus 5 of the Arduino Mega right there, connected. And oh, that's what happens, you sneaky. Okay, yeah, no abusing on the channel. So yeah, this is plus 5 volt right there, and then I'll connect this one to the ground. So right there, I've connected this to the ground. Next is since these are two potentiometers, one I'll be using to manipulate the plus 5 volt, and the other one I'll be using to manipulate, you guessed it right, the minus 5 volt. So let's connect this one to plus 5 volt. Okay, and let's connect the other one to minus 5 volt. sorry, 0 volt, or the common, whatever you call it. Right, okay. Next is I want to connect these LEDs through this potentiometer to the Arduino to get the output. So what happens is you'll have to check what kind of output you are getting. So suppose when I tried the circuit for the first time, what happened was the LEDs were inverted. So suppose the brakes were engaged, right there, wait, where's the, yeah, this is the LED that I'm using for brakes. So what was happening was when I connected it, uh, considering that the Arduino will give a negative, um, yeah, for example, considering the Arduino gives a negative output, when I connected the negative terminal to any one of the pins and the positive terminal to uh, the potentiometer through this positive, what happened was it was actually inverted. So when the brakes were engaged in the simulator, this LED was off, and when the brakes were disengaged, the LED turned on. So that was that behavior was exactly opposite of what I actually wanted. So that's why I had to reverse the polarities, take the positive from Arduino and connect the negative to the ground. So this is something you need to take care of. If the and also LEDs, the polarities actually matter, so the way you connect it, you need to be a bit careful about it. Let me tell you how it is. There are two legs to each LED. The shorter one is always negative and the longer one is always positive. So yeah, I know these are called anode and cathodes, but I'm just talking in layman terms. So just this is positive, longer one is positive and shorter one is negative. So yes, for flaps I noticed that when flaps are deployed, it gives a plus 5 volt on the Arduino. So that means we need to take plus 5 from the Arduino and we need to connect all the uh, negative wires to common potentiometer. So that is what we are going to do. Okay, so right here I'll just connect all the negative ones. Instead I'll use a line. Okay, yeah, all the negative terminals, I'll connect them together. Okay, and then I'll connect the negative terminals to this point on the potentiometer. Why do I do this? I'm doing this just to get a resistance in between the LEDs and the output so that they don't burn out. Okay, okay, so the connection to the negative is done. Now we need to take output from the Arduino board, the positive. So that for that we'll be using pin number 12 to pin number 8, and also for the other three LEDs, so we'll be using 765. We'll be using till 5 for the output. So the first, these LEDs, simple as that, connect them to the respective pin. I'll start from 12. These LEDs are connected, but so for the other three LEDs, I'll display the reverse polarity, and actually it is the case as well, because I noticed in the flight simulator, when these are supposed to the LEDs are supposed to glow at that time, it is giving a negative output. So that's why this time I'll connect their positives. Okay, right there. So this time I'm gonna connect the positives first to the potentiometer, not like last time. connected, and then this positive goes to the potentiometer positive. Okay, and the negative is what we need to take from, you guessed it right, the Arduino. So right there, next thing is we need to connect our like all the LEDs, the outputs are connected. Next we need to connect the input, so that would be, first we need to connect the ground, so let's just do it right there. So our ground is connected. Next is we need to connect the VCC. Let's take it the other way. VCC, we'll bring it from here. Okay, and then right there VCC is connected. And now we need clock and data, so clock and data I'm going to connect to D4 and D3. There goes clock. Which one you connect to which one actually doesn't matter, because okay, yeah, so it is connected. If you want to use the push button in this as well, you can just simply connect it to another pin, so you can use SW. I'm not using it, but just for the sake of it, I'm just telling you. So this is the circuit diagram. I know it looks messed up. It is actually more messed up when you work it in actually. So yeah, this is the circuit diagram. I hope you understood it. Any problems, any doubts, just comment. I'll make sure I'll update you. Now let's get to the coding part. Okay, let's start. Open your browser, Google SimVim plugin. The first link that comes up, go to hardware cockpit on the left. Oh, sorry, right? Yeah. And then right here you see download SimVimX. Click on this download here. SimVimX plugin. It is getting downloaded. So when the download is complete, you just extract this folder, and where you need to extract is go to the folder where you have installed SimVimX. For me it is in D drive, and then games, and then explain 11, then resources, then scenery, oh sorry, not scenery, then plugins. Yeah, and inside plugins you see this is the folder. I have extracted it, and this is SimVimX. So you just need to extract this file and place it in this folder. Once you do that, your installation is pretty much complete, and then you can just follow the instructions right here, but you can follow my video as well. And then first time firmware upload is here. To do that, make sure you disconnect your Arduino Mega first. It says it's not connected to the USB, so I'll just disconnect it. Okay, and then I will open explains. Right here is explain. Okay, so the game has started, and this is how you need to do it. First go to plugins, this is SimVimX should appear if you place that SimVimX folder in the plugins, and then you click on IO hardware. So right now it says make sure the board you want to upload to is disconnected from the USB, and click continue. So yes, it is disconnected. I'll click on continue, and then I'll select the master. First plug the board into USB and select the firmware type. So I just plugged in the board. Yeah, done. board plugged in, and I'll select master. Okay, now I have connected the board. Should recognize the board itself. Let's wait for a few minutes. Okay, right there. So looks like it will not allow me to do it because I have already uploaded the code right there. It's pretty easy. Click on SimVimX, go to IO hardware, disconnect the board, click on continue, and then select this master, and it will just like a normal setup. It will guide you through the process. You just need to click on next, 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 and upload the code to this Arduino Mega. Once that is done, almost 50% of your work is already completed. Next, you need to configure the board. So you'll close the explain is closed. Now based on what keys you have, what pins you have connected your LEDs to and your inputs to, you have to configure that thing. So how you do that? You go to hardware cockpit, and in hardware cockpit go to configurator, and right there it's pretty easy. So we have done. Now we have one brake LED. Let's start with that. So if I go to systems, not cockpit, flight controls, right there. So if I see this is the brake LED, so first of all I will assign this. Let me see which pin I have connected this to. For me it is connected to pin number 10, so I'll click on this LED digital output and I'll click on pin number 10. So this parameter is assigned 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, for next is our trim wheel. So I'll select the trim wheel. I have used the encoder, rotary encoder, that I have connected to pin number 11 and 12. I'll just select 11 and 12 will be assigned automatically. And then is our landing gear. So I will go down, I'll use these. I can either use these down, all down and log, or all up and log. These two are the ones that I'll be using. So I'll select down, and which one is that now? So that should be assigned to pin number 8. Okay, our pin number 9 is empty, and then down is assigned, and then the next is pin number 14. So up and logged is 14. All this is done. Now we are left with the flap indicators. So what I'll do is, for flaps I'll use one of these in transit. This one I'll be putting at pin number 7. Wait, let me just confirm it. Yes, so pin number 7 is when it is in transit. It is a red LED that I have used. Wait. So this is done, and the next is this position indicator. So I'm supposed to use a LED bar, but I don't have that, so I'm using multiple LEDs. I'll use this and click on 3. I'll be using 4 LEDs for this. I just put 4 here, and I'll click on all LEDs off when value is minimal, and this one as well, and click on done. So now all the parameters have been assigned, and then all I need to do is just click on save. So when you click on save, a file will be downloaded, which is data.cfg. What you do is go to downloads, cut it from here, and again go back to your the folder where you have that plugin. So D drive, games, explain 11, resources, plugins, and SimVimX, and then right here you just paste that data.cfg. So you might not have any data.cfg file here when you install it for the first time, but I give it one or two tries, so that's why I have it. I'll just replace that file, or you can simply just paste it. So when you do that and you close it, so that's it, your work is done, your configuration is done. This is as simple as that. Minimize this, okay, and then I'll just open Explains 11 again. Okay, the game is on. So when the first time you load it, it will automatically read the configuration file, but in case it is not reading, or you just change the configuration file in between the game, just connect your board. Let me just connect it. Yeah, it's connected. So when you connect it, it will automatically pop up this window, and you'll be able to see that it says board is connecting. Yeah, right there. So it shows that one input and 5 outputs are connected, and that's all we need. Cool. So in case you want to reload the configuration, you just have to click this reload config button, and that's it. So our configuration has been updated. Let me check. Connected this potentiometer. So turning this to the left should increase the brightness. As you see, the brightness increases. So when I disengage the brakes, this light should turn off. Let's do that, and there it goes. So while transiting, both the lights are on, and as soon as the gears are completely up, the green light should go off, and it should say that the red light means that the gears are up and locked. Let's see. Yeah, so landing gears checked, brakes checked. Now we have to test the flaps. To do that, I'll have to bring down the flaps a notch. So this light on the top, this red light, is supposed to mean that the flaps are in transit and not safe. So since we have deployed and one notch of flaps, so light number 1 is on. Let's deploy a bit more. So if you can see, this red light comes up whenever the flaps are in transit and not, completely in position, and as soon as they are in position, it just goes off. So now we have half flap already deployed. You see 3 and 4 also comes up, so this is perfect. Now looking at the LEDs, I can tell how many what is the extent of flaps that we are using. So guys, that's a wrap. Done with the build. Hope you like this series on Flight Simulator. I might add additional 1 or 2 videos, short videos, because everything that I wanted to explain how to build the video is almost covered. So using these video series, you can actually build as big of a simulator as you want, even the big ones, the complete simulators which look like A320s and all. You can build that also using these concepts. So that is about it. I hope you enjoyed these videos. Please remember to like, share and subscribe, and I will keep coming up with more videos. Yes, so I'll keep coming up with more videos. Stay tuned. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you. Peace.
If you like this video, please consider subscribing.
This guy's not slowing down. Yeah, that's confirmed. He's not stopping. Code 3.